All right, welcome back, everyone. So, we're gonna do part 2 of the review today. You can see on my marker board here, semester test is on January 5th. The practice guide's due on the 4th, that's Monday. You'll turn it in. I know that some people want to study it that next night. They're like, hey, I test the next day, can I keep it? If you had it for 2 weeks, probably should be able to turn it in. I don't know if you need it one more night, but if you do, just take a picture of it, study the picture, make a copy of it over break, do whatever you need to, but it's due on Monday. You have to turn in the practice guide. So make a copy so that you always have one so you can study it for the next day. Because we'll have it all filled out by Wednesday this next week. Late work assignments, check Google Classroom, check your JMC gradebook, see if you're missing anything, and then everything is due by Wednesday next week. So everything, late stuff. We had, I think the last time we had was Wednesday, 2 days ago. So, and then obviously this practice guide is our next major topic that we have to do. Okay, questions. Perfect. Let's jump right in. Obviously today, I have this even marked wrong. Today we're doing 2 questions. So today is Friday. So we're going to do 2 questions today, and then Monday we'll do 2, Tuesday we'll do 2, and Wednesday we'll do 2, and that will get us through all the questions. So we did our 3 up front yesterday, so because there's only 11 questions total on your semester test. So yeah, let's jump right in. Now, reminder, if you would like to review some of those videos from like the last couple days, if you go to my website here, and this is mrword.org or ghvmath.com or hsmath.org, and you click on this little daily lessons at the top, or you scroll down to the bottom where it says consumer, you can see the lessons of the day. So I usually just go up here because it's easier. I don't have to scroll, click consumer. Then you scroll down, you can see all the videos. Here's already part 1 of the review that we did yesterday. Part 2 will be right here tonight. Right, it'll sit right next to it. I always put the newest video in the front, so you have to like scroll through them all. But all 5 will sit there, and they'll sit there all break, and you can watch them over and over and over. And they have the notes, so they have the screenshots of the work I did. They have the practice guide and the pictures of the practice guide questions without all my work written on it. So there's a lot of things. I even sent you an email, so if you misplace this practice guide, you have an email from me that has the digital copy. You could print it if you have access to a printer. If you don't, you could just put all your work on a separate sheet of paper, and just that's what you'll turn in next Monday. Or not next Monday, but January 4th, Monday. Okay, questions. Perfect. Let's jump right in. We only have 2 problems we have to get through today. Yesterday we did 3. So we did question number 1. We did this hourly wage problem. So this is something that you should be familiar with. We did this one yesterday. This one, right? So that was the one we did yesterday. We did the commission problem where you had to figure out how much money you're making off this commission sale. Maybe it's farm equipment, or maybe you sold a house or something like that. And then we finished with this, gross pay, net pay kind of a thing where you had to take out your taxes and all the deductions and all that good stuff to figure out your net pay. All right. But those are the 3 we did yesterday. Is there any questions about any of those 3 in particular? Maybe there's something you don't remember or you're confused about. Okay. If you can think of a question, just ask me later. Don't be shy about it, because obviously we're only doing 2 today. It's not going to be a very long day for you. It's going to be pretty easy. Nice little Friday for you. So, find the amount of the down payment and the amount for the mortgage for this home. This is going to be pretty close to what you're going to see on the semester test. I might have a different cost for a mortgage, maybe a cheaper home or something like that. Down payment, it'll be a certain percent. What we have to do is calculate what the down payment will be. So, because obviously we're not going to pay all $125 for this home. We're going to just pay a pretty 20% is a pretty substantial chunk of this thing. So here's what you do. The first thing, we have to convert this 20% into a decimal. It has to be in decimal form. How do I change 20% to decimals? Divided by 100. That's the best way to do it. So I could take the 20 divided by 100, or what is that known as in decimal form? 0.2. Yeah, you just move the decimal over 2 spots, which is divided by 100. Okay. So 0.2, that's the number I'm using. This is the digit we needed. So pretty good. All right, now we're going to use that number, and we're going to calculate what my down payment is. So you're going to take the cost of your home, this cost, and you're going to multiply it. You're going to take the $125,000 home, and you're going to multiply it on 0.20. This will tell you what I'm paying as a down payment, 20% of this house. So as a down payment, what are we getting? So you multiply it, what do we get? Did anyone need a calculator, by the way? Okay. What number are we getting? $25,000. That's a pretty big chunk of change. That is correct. 25 grand. You're going to pay that right off the top. That's a pretty big down payment. All right, now that's the down payment. So that number goes here. So that's going to be the number. This is the first thing. I'm paying 25 grand for a down payment. That means the mortgage, the actual loan that I'm going to have to take out for the home is all the rest of the money that's left over. So you're going to take your $125,000 home and you're going to subtract what the down payment was. So what does that leave me for a total cost that I'm taking for the mortgage? 100 grand even. So that's my final number, and so the final price, the mortgage that we're going to take the loan out for is 100,000. There you go. All right, questions, comments, concerns, smart remarks? No, nothing. Okay, we only got one more problem. I said it was going to be easy today. I don't want to overwhelm you, right? I want you to feel comfortable with the problems we're doing. You can really absorb them. You don't get lost because we're doing too many things at once. So I want to keep it pretty straightforward for you. But I would expect a problem like number 4 to be almost identical to this. I'll just give you a new price and a new down payment. So don't expect anything different. You just need to know what to do. Have a calculator. All right. Let's go to our last problem of the day today. I said it was pretty easy. All right, this one. We are calculating the mortgage again, but now we're going to calculate what the amount we paid and the total interest we paid. Notice on this problem, they're not asking for a monthly payment. I'm not. I'm asking for what was the total amount you paid for this home and what the total interest, the extra cash you paid for the home. Because obviously, the home is supposed to cost us 70 grand, right? $70,000. But obviously, when we put it through this interest formula, the compound interest formula, this house is going to cost us a lot more than $70,000. In fact, if the numbers were right from yesterday, one of your classmates did this from yesterday just to see if they could get it done before today. This number's astronomically high, like a really big number, like stupidly big, because of that 12% over 30 years. I'm hoping their numbers are right. I'm hoping that they didn't have their decimal point in the wrong spot. Okay, but the formula you need to have, here it is. This is the formula that we have. This is pretty much the loan formula you need to have memorized for the test. It will not be printed anywhere. I think yesterday when you guys were working, I think I accidentally had it still written up here from a note that I did. So it was still written on the side of the marker board over here. All right, so how these numbers work. You're going to take your rate, you're going to take the number of compounds, you're going to put the time, and you're going to plug it all into this formula. They're giving me everything I need. This is the principal. It's the amount that I'm borrowing. I'm not worrying about a down payment on this home. So that's my principal. My interest rate is this number right here. That's my R. Now, I have to make that a decimal. So how do I make 12% a decimal? Say it again? Yeah, exactly. 0.12 or divide by a 100 like you said earlier. So yeah, so move the decimal 2 spots over. So that's really good. And then obviously the number of compounds, you know, the n in this case is going to always be 12. It's always going to be 12 because it's how many times it's how many months are in a year. That's how it always works. That's the fee. They charge you a fee once a month if you don't pay off your mortgage. And then the time is printed up here. This number up here, this 30, is the time. That number could change on semester test day. I could make it a 25-year loan or a 20-year loan or a 15-year loan. So pay close attention to that number on the top. So these are all the numbers I need, and I'm going to go plug them into my formula right now. Okay, so let's plug some of these numbers in. So my principal was the 70,000, right? 70,000 bucks. My interest rate was the 0.12. The N was a 12 because that was my number of months in a year. Number of months in a year times how many years we're going. We're going 30 years. Okay, so this is where you'll need a calculator. So what I need to know first is what is 0.12 divided by 12? Yeah, 0.01. Like a nice clean number. Questions on how I got that 0.01 number? 0.12 divided by 12. Okay, next. The power, 12 times 30. 360. Okay, is everyone good so far? How we're getting these? All right, now what we're going to need to do is we're going to add the 1 to that 0.01. So that's going to give me 1.01 like this, and I'm going to put it to the 360th power. Now, I'm going to show you how to type it in my calculator right now. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to type it in. So I'm going to use my calculator just so if you're borrowing one of mine, you can see exactly how I'm going to do it. Now, I don't know if this will show up too well. Hopefully it will. You might have to click the lights. So first I might have you turn off the lights here in a second. Just the front ones, but we'll see. Let's see what it looks like here. All right. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah. All right. So 1.01, right? I just typed in that number. You can see right there. 1.01. And now how I put it to the 360th power, you have to hit this little caret key. The caret key is this key right here on my calculator. Right there. That's the key that I'm going to hit. I'm going to hit the little caret key. Look what it looks like on my screen. It looks just like the same symbol. A little caret key, right? That's this key right there. And then you're going to type in your 360. So I type in my 360 and hit enter. It will give me my number across. So 1.01 to the 360th power. So if you want to put it in parentheses, same exact idea. It would be the same number, even if you typed in the parentheses. You don't really need the parentheses on it. You can see it. Okay, did everyone see how I got that number? Okay, now I'm going to write that number down here just so you can see that. Okay, all right. So this turns out to be, so I'm going to continue up here. Hopefully this makes sense to you. 70,000, right? I didn't really touch that number yet. And on the other, the 1 to the 360th power, that was the 35.9496. I always want to go about 4 or 5 decimal places. That number was this thing right here that I just did. Okay. Now we're going to multiply that. We're going to take this number and we're going to take it times my 70,000. Now I kept a bunch of decimal places on that thing, so sorry, my number might be slightly different than yours. I left like every decimal on that number, on that 35 number. There's like 7 or 8 numbers across. Here's the number I'm getting. Ouch. Ouch. That home, over 30 years, was a $2.5 million home. I want you to put this in perspective. This is somebody that has really bad credit. Taking out a home, an average priced home in this local North Iowa area. 70,000 is the average, right? If they took out that loan for a 12% interest for a 30-year loan, their price that they paid over 30 years is more than any house on the lake for a $70,000 home. In fact, I want you to comprehend this concept, right? If they chose to take out that loan and pay off their payments, right? Right now, you could take out mortgages that are crazy interest low mortgages, like 2%, 1%, 0.5% loans. Because banks want loans right now. They need loans. They need people buying homes and getting the economy boosted, right? So they lower the interest rates. So in theory, that person that could have taken out a 1% loan or a 0.5% loan could have bought a home on the lake and still had the same exact house payment. And you'd be living on the lake and not a $70,000 home here in North Iowa somewhere. Okay, that is astronomical. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that number. I'm going to divide by 12 and divide by 30. So I want to figure out what my monthly payments are for this home. So I'm dividing by how many months and how many years I'm going. They aren't going to afford that home. You want to know what the monthly payment is for 30 years? $6,990 a month. You aren't affording that home. No one's going to buy that home for that. Plus you have to pay taxes on it. Yeah, not a smart loan to take out. So your classmate who did this problem yesterday had the same numbers. They were questioning, they got that number and they're like, Ward, I did it wrong. No, you didn't. It was the 12% killed you. That's a stupid number. That's a dumb loan. I wouldn't take that loan. All right, anyway, let's get to our final question. So the total we paid over 30 years, here it is. And in fact, I'm gonna kind of circle this. This is the number we paid over 30 years. $2 million, $2.5 million for that home. What was the extra pay? Well, what you do is you subtract what the original cost of the home was. Subtract the original cost for that home. So it's a $2,516,474.89. I'm going to subtract the $70,000 that the home actually was supposed to cost you, and this is the actual pay. This is the extra money that you paid for this home. You paid $2.4 million extra for a home. Don't take that loan. That's a dumb loan to take. That's why, if you wonder why in class and I was doing all those examples when I did home loans, I was always using 2% or 3%. Because when you get up to 12% on a $70,000 home, that's really close to the same home I bought here in Garner, 11 years ago when I was here. It would cost me $2.5 million if I would have not taken a loan for, the 2.5% or 3% whatever I took my loan out. If I would have had a 12% because maybe I had bad credit, it would have cost me $2 million for my home. I wouldn't be able to afford the monthly payment. So, there you go. That's the last question of the day. So.